let's move on to the Prophet Muhammad and Aisha. We have to go there. So why did he marry Aisha? How old was she? How old was he? And how many wives did he have at the time?
Right. So the first marriage of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was to a lady called Khadija. The most popular narrative, and there are differences in this, the most popular narrative is that he, a virgin, was 25, and she was previously married, 2 previous marriages, and she was 40 years old. So he married Khadija, and she was his only wife for as long as she was alive, and then she passed away. When she passed away, after that, his first wife after that was Aisha. Aisha was the daughter of an older friend of his, who was known as Abu Bakr. So they knew each other very, very well. And we have hadiths which say that the age of the marriage was when Aisha was 6 years old, and the marriage was consummated, i.e. marital relations took place at 9 years old. This is what everybody's homing in onto. Okay? I just want to pause, right? Ask yourself, if this is a pressing question for you, ask yourself, why is this such an important issue? What does it mean? Let's say, assuming, and I'm not saying this, let's say assuming, I'm not saying this, let's say the Prophet Muhammad had a relationship with a young girl. I'm not saying that, and I'm going to come on to clarify that after. Okay, then what? You've proved Islam wrong? Does that prove Islam wrong? Or we can't take anything from him? If he's doing that to a small child, that therefore we think he's morally wrong, and we will not take any teachings he brings us about God or about how we should live our life. Is that what it's about? Okay, fair enough. Right, now let's go a little bit deeper. There's the science of hadith, which is what I've mentioned. And by the way, the hadiths which mention the ages of 6 and 9, they're considered to be sahih hadith. So they're authentic in their chains of transmission. So what that means is every person who's transmitted this information all the way back to the Prophet can be vouched for. It's a reliable chain of transmission. As to the actual content of the hadith, that's a different story. There are different rules involved. However, there's another science in Islam which is called seerah. This is the science of biography, i.e. timescales and timelines, and looking at. And people have put together the age of her sister, and when she's described when certain things have happened. And if you go down that path, then it takes Aisha from 18 to 20 years old at that time. So it's not as straightforward as it seems. Now, this is the, and I'm not trying to be clever here. I'm just saying that whichever opinion you go with, or whichever you kind of guess that was her age, in that time, the time that they were living, she was a woman. She wasn't a child. Because the Prophet Muhammad himself taught that it's forbidden to have sex between, whether it's a boy or whether it's a girl, before the age of puberty. At that time, that's what adulthood was. As soon as you reach puberty, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, whether you're 15 or whether you're 13, at that time, you're considered now an adult. That's the way it worked. Nobody in the time of the Prophet Muhammad criticized him for this. It wasn't a moral issue back then. And I think it's a bit, I don't think it's fair to take moral standards, what we have today, and apply them to a situation which happened 1,500 years ago. When it comes to Islamic law, we have, so the vast majority of Muslim countries, just for the record, who follow Sharia or whose laws are based on Sharia will have 18 as the age of consent, or some have 16, and that's the whole point. It's forbidden to have sex with a child. Obviously, the definition of what a child was back then is different to what a child is now, because a child in our times is somebody who's under 18, right? Whether they've reached puberty or not, it doesn't matter. 18 is the key age. Go back 200 years ago, it wouldn't even have been an issue here in this country. That's 200 years. So never mind 1,500.
So let's